Welcome to Craps 101. I'm Dr. Michael Skaff, and we are continuing our lecture series with some players in interactive session. I have on my right Chris, and I have across from me Ted, and we are illustrating some of the basic strategies of playing craps in an interactive environment. All of the things that we talk about here today can be found in my products, my 2 books, and my DVD. So that if you wish to have more details, please go to those sources. You can find this information at michaelscaffphd.com. We are also using today in this session a computer to generate the actual rolling of the dice, because the worst case situation is to have random rolls, because sevens tend to come up much more frequently with random rolls. And by using the computer is going to be generating, has a random number generator, and will generate the worst case situation. So if you can win with the worst case, then you got a chance to win when it's not the worst case. So today in this lecture, we're going to emphasize the use of the hardway bet in conjunction with place bets, and I believe that is a winning strategy. Let me just make a general comment. In general, one doesn't want to bet anything in the middle of the table. Those are losing bets. They are just not very good bets. However, there are times when placing the bets on the hardways will be a positive situation. So let me just illustrate. Well, first of all, if you'll notice here that on the table it says the hard 4, which is the 2 and the 2, pay 8 for 1. The hard 8, which is the 4 and the 4, pays 10 for 1. The hard 6 pays 10 for 1, and the hard 10 pays 8 for 1. Let me just explain. The word 4 means that it includes your original bet. If it said 10 to 1, you would get the actual 10 plus your 1. So they rip you off by having the word 4 on here. They rip you off by $1. In other words, you don't get back. You get back everything, including your original bet, which means you're only making $9. So that when you think about payoffs for these particular bets, if you get a hard 6, they're going to pay you 9 times whatever you have out, not 10 times. If you go to a hard 4, you're going to get paid 7 times, not 10. So those are the 2 numbers to keep in mind. Now let me just illustrate the concept here. A hardway bet, again, how many ways can you get a hard 8, hard 6, hard 5, hard 10, and a hard 4? There's only one way. So one way out of 36 is not very likely. That's why they have these numbers paying you so much, because they'd like to get you to bet those things. So the point is, should you bet them? In general, the answer is no. However, let me just show you why it's a good bet in certain cases. So let's say, for example, you have a bet on the 6. And as I mentioned in one of the previous videos, you should always put the 6s out in multiples of $6. So if we're playing a $10 table, you'd put $12 out here. Now, if you were to put out here, for example, $5 on the hard 6, and a hard 6 comes up, what do you win? Well, in this case, you would win $14 for your 12 here, typical bet, but you would also get, remember this is 9 times, so 9 times 5 is $45. So in this case, you would get $45, and so you win 14 and 45, you win $59. That's a real plus. Yeah. Now notice that if you can win one of those like that, it carries you a long way as you lose those 7 bets that come up. But now let's say it doesn't come up the hard way. Let's suppose it comes up the soft way, which means, you know, like this, for example. Let's suppose that it's a 4 and a 2. There's a soft 6, 4 and a 2. So what do you win? Well, this one wins. You win your 14. However, this one loses. But notice, how much did you end up winning? 14 minus 5, you're still plus 9. You haven't lost any money. You haven't lost any money. Same way with these other bets. So I believe, quite honestly, I believe that a good strategy, a winning strategy is that if you are playing and you can make a hardway bet in conjunction with one of these place bets, you will walk away generally a winner at the table if you can get a hardway to come up.
and you bet it and win, because you'll get that extra $45 or whatever it is, and that carries you a long way. And I maintain, I've been seeing it for many years, that if you bet the hardways and they don't come up, you're probably going to walk away a loser at the table. So those are choices.